kicks off today at the Inkosi Luthuli Convention Centre in Durban. For more on this, we say once again good morning to our reporter Blaine Herman.
Back live from the Inkosi Luthuli International Convention Centre right here in Durban. It's for a week-long Traffic Indaba, which brings together over 1,000 traffic officers as well as other delegates. And the basic aim, well, is to find new and innovative ways in order to curb road fatalities. We've seen the stats and it's pretty hair-raising. So we're going to find out how this can be achieved, especially over the festive season. Makosini Msibi joins me now live. He is the CEO of the Road Traffic Management Corporation. Sir, thank you very much indeed for your time. We know the significance of this conference. Just elaborate. I mean, we got off to a bit of a bad start, isn't it? This festive season already. 8 people died in Limpopo on Sunday. 3 yesterday in Chatsworth in a bus accident. From your analysis in terms of accident trends, what are we learning?
Blaine, good morning, and good morning to the viewers. What we're beginning to learn and the trends that we have picked up over the years, it's only human behavior that is the major cause of our accidents. And you'll have seen, Blaine, over the weekend that we had these fatalities starting from Friday until Sunday. There's nothing else other than fatigue, drunken driving, and unroadworthy vehicles. This is the issue that we're dealing with. And this conference comes at an appropriate time to talk to the law enforcers, to devise innovative ways and means to deal with these carnages, because we now understand the patterns, but what are the interventions that we're coming with? And indeed, one of the issues that we're going to be dealing with over these 5 days, it's also a strategy turnaround. How are we going to deal with this issue going back home on Saturday? What are the strategies that we're going to come with? What are the new methodologies that we're going to be dealing with over this festive season?
Yeah, but it's urgent, isn't it? I mean, are we talking about ideas that are currently on the table and will just be polished up here, or are we starting from scratch?
We're polishing the ideas. We have planned throughout the year. We're putting the plan to the conference to say, are we adopting this plan, and how do we then begin to deal with this? Key to those will be the deployment strategy. How do we begin to deploy our law enforcers over the festive season? But we'll also know, Blade, that one of the critical issues that we're confronted with is the 24/7 visibility of the law enforcers after the working hours. And this is one of the key issues. We are just going to put it in the plenary for endorsement of our law enforcers. And as patriotic South African citizens, they're going to come up and say, we're endorsing this, which has been endorsed by our law enforcers. We're going to roll it out because we need to deal with this carnage. There's no other time other than this time, this year, where we have to show our force.
Do we have enough capacity for that?
Well, throughout the country, we have 18,600 traffic officers. They are not enough. But for now, we're going to make do with what we have and show that decisively we can make an impact.
Advocate, we know about the emotional cost of road accidents. We know about the social cost. What is the economic cost?
Well, we have done a study together with CSIR and our Road Traffic Management Corporation. It cost the country 149 billion. The cost of crashes annually. You will know they have been punting a number of 306 billion. We have physically and actually dealt with the number. It's 149 billion that is the actual cost of the crashes. And the country cannot afford such an amount through the negligence and the human behavior, and particularly affecting the pedestrians. That's where we're standing. We're sitting at 64 in terms of the contribution of the pedestrians. It can't be correct.
Often we forget that pedestrians are mostly affected with regards to accidents as well, isn't it? What initiatives are there to make them aware of this?
Well, we're taking law enforcement together with road safety and putting into it education and mobilization and awareness. So in terms of this festive season, we're dealing with the awareness campaign, we're dealing with the educating the communities, because that's where we begin to have a number of fatalities. We have called on celebrities, we have called on the road safety ambassadors, we have called on the youth formations to partner with us dealing with the communications. The faith-based organizations have come on board. So everybody's on board, because road safety is everybody's responsibility. Government alone can't do it.
Yeah. Let's talk about technology. Any newfangled gadgets out there? The MEC was talking about a number plate recognition. What else is out there?
Well, we're piloting one of the major issues in relation to technology out in Cape Town, in Western Cape. You know that we dealt with the breathalyzer, which is commonly known as a dragger. We're piloting it. We're doing exceptionally well. We have seen the NPA coming on board. And indeed, we're beginning to arrest people in relation to drunken driving. It's one of the interventions that we're coming with. The number plate recognition, it's one of the issues that we're coming with. And also the licensing identification, which has not been the issue. And the system that even begins to deal with whether your vehicle has been licensed or not while you are traveling on the road, as well as the previous convictions that you have and indeed the warrants that you have. You will not be aware as a road user, but we are putting those in the 4 provinces, in the major corridors. We'll just be seen being pulled off the road, not knowing what is really happening.
Yeah. When can we see an increase in terms of roadblocks?
Well, we have started, but simply because this year it's one of the very extraordinary years. You'll know that we're going to have extraordinary long weekends, starting from the 15th, the 24th, as well as the 1st, because we have these added long weekends. So we're not going to deal with the roadblocks just during the festive season, in particular those days, but we're starting every day. Even during the week we're going to have the roadblocks, because we have now identified, the pattern tells us that Friday it was the worst situation, Saturday, Sunday and Monday, but also midweek, because remember, most people will start traveling on Thursday. We're also going to be dealing with them on Thursday. So it's going to be a 365 days issue.
You know, I was talking to the Minister about, the Minister of Transport, about corruption on our law enforcement and the corrosive effects on our law enforcement. What is being done in order to weed out corrupt officials? We talk about bribery here. We're talking from the licensing departments, if there are any there. What is being done? Are we winning the battle?
Well, strategically, this conference is also going to be addressed by the SIU as well as the NPA, dealing with fraud and corruption. But what are we doing? As the RTMC, we have the anti-corruption unit. We have done a number of busts. Just 2 weeks ago, we're doing a bust in here in KZN throughout the province, because we have identified that if we are not very firm and decisive in terms of the DLTCs and VTCs, we're not going to deal with the road carnages. So charity begins at home. We need to clean up our backyard, which is the DLTCs and the VTCs. So we have a number of covert operations operating within the DLTCs, but indeed it takes time, because we don't want just to pounce on one individual. We're dealing with syndicates here. We take more time so that our cases before the courts of law have credibility and can stand.
Advocate Msibi, you go through the process of getting your license. From your assessment, do we have quality licensed drivers in South Africa?
Well, we can't have a blanket assessment and say everybody's not a quality driver. Those that have gone through the system properly are indeed quality drivers. But those that goes through the system through the back doors are the people that are giving us the major problems. But you might not be aware that some of the drivers on the South African roads are not licensed. That's why we have these carnages. Are people that have fraudulent documents. They fraudulently produce a driver's license, but they've never been to the DLTC on the testing issues. And it begins to give a bleak picture to say that South African drivers are not qualified. When they are, those are just a few that has gone into the system fraudulently.
Okay. Advocate Makosini Msibi, thank you very much indeed for your time. He's got a busy week. It's a week-long event. Advocate Makosini Msibi is the CEO of the Road Traffic Management Forum. It's happening here at the ICC, the first of its kind, the Traffic Indaba, which aims to find new and innovative ways in order to curb road accidents right here in South Africa. Let's take a bit of a break. Morning Live continues after this.